Hello, I'm Richard Jack Smith of Real Talk Movie Reviews. Well, there's no need to sugarcoat it, folks. Black Widow by Lorne Balfe is rubbish. It feels like bits and pieces that have been stuck together like Frankenstein's monster. Choirs, yeah, they're here, they seem to be everywhere these days. But if you remember how effectively they worked in Basil Polidoris's The Hunt for October, well, the use in Black Widow is just awful. As for the definition of Black Widow, it takes me back to that Deborah Winger film. She mates and then she kills, but in this Black Widow, it's more like she fakes and then she spills. Or at least that's what Lorne Balfe does. Now, he's not a terrible composer by any means. I thoroughly enjoyed his work on the Lego Batman movie. But the internet would have you believe, or at least some people believe, that this is Balfe's finest effort, Black Widow. And I couldn't disagree more. It's just an absolute train wreck. And in fact, the state of Marvel's scoring in general is rather precarious. Now, when I think about the best efforts in this entire franchise, I think of the axe, smash and demolition of Marvel. Those being the Punisher scores. In 1989 we had Dennis Dreith's work on the Dolph Lundgren movie. 15 years later, Thomas Jane reprised the role, this time with music by Carlo Ciliotto, and then a year later we had the video game, and that was scored by Timothy Wynn and Christopher Lennertz. By contrast, Black Widow would like to be Nails, but we all know what happened to him, long forgotten. And indeed, this is just another excuse for just amping up the pathos, you know, the drudgery. I mean, this is just an absolute waste of airtime. Cliched to a darn fault, not an original idea to be found in any part of it. Just an absolute same old tired rubbish that we've been hearing for years. And people like it. Good. They got something out of it that I never will. But I don't envy them their enjoyment. But it should be put on record that Balfe, if he wants to be any kind of composer, and we're not even talking greatness here, I mean that's reserved for men like Beethoven and Bach and Mozart. No. If we're talking about what's good in film music, well, this is a long way from it. And even the Lego Batman movie, the music for that was a trifle. Great musicians make pyramids, not trifles. So, in the end, Black Widow fails. It falls flat on its face. 80 minutes of this, it might as well have been 80 hours for the spectacular and bloated want of feeling in Balfe's meandering accompaniment for this get woke, go broke endeavour. And in fact, Marvel was becoming more and more woke as the seconds tick by, but it has backfired on them spectacularly, as seen in the Brie Larson debacle. But anyway, I mean, what we have is less than the sum of its parts. You know, the law of diminishing returns won't be kind to this in the future, and I certainly don't intend on listening to it ever again. It took me a long time to get through this 80 minutes of music. Kind of reminded me when I was in school reading Michael Crichton's The Lost World. It took me 2 months to finish that book because it was so meandering and awful. And this is just, you know, the Empire State of awfulness. Black Widow is one of the most disappointing efforts of 2021, and the hype, well, all I can say is the juice is not worth the squeeze. I give it 0 out of 5 stars. For more film and soundtrack reviews, please visit Betty Jo Tucker's website, Real Talk Movie Reviews. On Facebook you can find my pages, Hip-Notic Movie Reviews and Hip-Notic Soundtrack Reviews. I am Richard Jack Smith, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.